asphalt, way station call. World in my mirror like the pray I fall. You see me on the screen thinking, no, the man. Pixels ain't the miles, miles ain't the plan. Pressure like a pallet strapped to my spine. Folks run up on me reading between the lines. Shake my hand expecting to do from the feet. I keep diesel burning, doing what I need. There's something in the air. Thunder you can't see. Eyes on me everywhere. When all I want's to breathe. From the cab I hold my lane through anger, dust and rain. Big wheels turn to steel, the silence hold the pain. This ain't the algorithm, it's a long white line. Big water on the wide garden was mine.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Today is still Wednesday, October 22nd, 2025. Back with another episode. Thank y'all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. This message is for anyone and everyone that's in America right now that's struggling. I'm talking about, let me take that back. This is to any American citizen that's in America right now, whether you were born and raised here or if you're an immigrant that became a citizen the right way. This message is to any American citizen right now that's struggling to pay their bills, the rent, struggling to pay for food. If you're them people that's getting your SNAP and your food stamp or whatever, you sitting around worried right now that you might not get your benefits come November 1st because, whether you want to believe it or not, the Democrats have shut the government down until they get what they want, which is what we're finna show. I want y'all to listen very closely and pay very close attention to this clip I'm about to show y'all in a minute. Where we are in America, and when y'all come at me talking about that's what you voted for, to you Democrats, if the voting really matters, look y'all, I'm torn. I'm torn in between voting don't count and maybe it does, we're just voting for the wrong people. I'm torn. But I'm leaning more towards, man, that shit don't even matter. But anyway, on to the topic. As we try to figure out from day to day, I'm talking about hard-working Americans that go to work every day, can't get no help, no benefits, or if you are getting help and getting benefits and you're an American citizen and you need a little help right now, you find yourself in a position right now where you might not be able to get that help. And you're an American citizen. Come November the 1st, you might not be able to get your help that you've been getting, that you've been needing and depending on, the elderly, the handicapped, disabled veterans, and disabled or whatever. You might not be able to get your benefits pretty soon. And they telling you they ain't got the money for it. They gotta open the government for you as an American to get the help you need. They gotta open the government for you as a federal worker or what have you to go back to work and get, well, you already working, but you ain't getting paid. If it wasn't for some money being shifted around this past 15th of the month, the military wouldn't have got paid. Think about that, our military wouldn't have gotten paid if the defense, the Department of War, whatever you call it, they diverted money from somewhere else to pay the military. Or they get 2 checks of money, they're gonna be able to do it in the second pay period. Or they're gonna be able to find enough money if the government is still shut down to pay the military. The people who are laying their lives on the line to protect us, they might not get paid. And they tell us well, we got it. You know what I'm saying? They're giving us all that. Sound like some old ghetto hood flim-flammers. That's what they sound like to me right now. Now imagine this as well. Ladies, gentlemen, say for instance your family struggling. You ain't got but a little bit for your own kids. You got wife, husband, 6 kids. Economy bad, times hard. You're struggling. What if your husband take the little money y'all do have and go give it to some strangers and tell them, hey, I see y'all struggling. I just want to give y'all some money to help y'all out. And you, the wife, looking at your husband, go get it. Y'all struggling, right? You as the wife watching your husband take the little money y'all do have and go give it to some strangers that y'all don't even know. Because he say, well, it look like y'all hurt. Y'all need some help. Y'all ain't got no groceries. Your kids need some shoes. Y'all rent ain't paid. And you looking at your husband like, our rent ain't paid. Our kids ain't got no shoes. Ain't no food in our refrigerator. What you mean it look like they need some help when your own family needs some help? How would you feel about that? Wouldn't you be pissed? I know I would. I would be pissed if I'm in a family and my wife take the little money we got that I done worked hard and scuffled for. I'm trying to figure out how to get my son some shoes and my daughter a dress and I watch my wife take our money and go give it to somebody else because they look like they need help. I'm a compassionate, empathetic person, but you can't help the poor if you one of them. So if I'm starving, I'm sorry. I'm not giving you my food, and I ain't ate. Now, if I got some extra, then I help. But if I just got enough, or if I got enough, I don't even have enough for my own family. My own family doing without. What the hell I look like helping somebody else? Well, that's what's going on right now in America. Some of them, politicians, even though I get on here every day talking that doom and gloom, I get on here every day for those who don't already know, because y'all already know anyway. People out here struggling like a motherfucker. You got people out here ain't ate. You got people out here living in their cars. You got people out here finna be living in their cars. You got people out here ain't got no car to live in. Don't know where their next meal coming from. American citizens. You got people that work that are homeless, can't afford their responsibility. And to add insult to injury, they can't get help from nobody. Their country, which is America, telling them we got to shut down because we ain't got the money. We got the budget of money. We took $3,700 trillion in debt. We can't help the American citizen. But we can't help the American citizen. But we can do this.
Tonight, Los Angeles County declaring a state of emergency over President Trump's immigration raids. In a move typically used after natural disasters, the Board of Supervisors now voting to allow taxpayer funds to help undocumented immigrants and their families pay for rent and legal aid if they're impacted by federal enforcement operations.
I want our immigrant communities to know that we are in this emergency with them. We see them. We understand what they're going through.
It comes as dramatic surveillance video emerges of an ICE arrest in Chicago. Homeland Security officials say an undocumented immigrant inside that SUV tried to flee an arrest Tuesday, ramming into a Border Patrol vehicle. DHS says the Border Patrol vehicle smashed into the SUV to stop it, prompting a chase on foot. Later, a hostile crowd gathering, at one point throwing eggs and rocks at federal officers. Tear gas then deployed. This video shows a man and woman running with a baby in a car seat away from the smoke.
ICE has continued to come to our community to terrorize, intimidate, and create fear amongst our members.
But Chicago Alderman Raymond Lopez argues Democratic leaders have fueled the fire by antagonizing the president. Do you support the president's crackdown on crime in major cities?
I absolutely support any effort to make our cities safer. Why wouldn't we want to accept the president's help?
Late today, the president vowing a new federal surge in more U.S. cities to fight crime.
If we didn't have to fight all of these radical left governors, we could have had Chicago taken care of. We're going to save Chicago.
Back in Los Angeles, one county official voted against that emergency declaration, arguing it wasn't meant for that purpose and will invite legal challenges.
We thank you for...
For those of you in the back that rode the short bus to school, that had the helmets on the school bus, you're wearing a football helmet, banging your head against the window. To y'all, better known as Democrats, they are using something that's normally only used for natural disaster, like for hurricane emergency, a hurricane, tornadoes, fires. You know how all those people out there in California just went to those fires and can't get no help? That. The American people couldn't get no help. The American people in South Carolina and North Carolina when the hurricane hit under Joe Biden couldn't get no help. Kamala Harris, all of them, $750, and you had to go through all kind of hoops to get the $750 one-time payment, and you had to pay it back, if I'm not mistaken. They declaring emergency to help illegal, meaning they ain't supposed to be here. Meaning if you wasn't here, you wouldn't be going through that. Let me repeat this. The so-called emergency that these brilliant Democrat liberals say that these illegal immigrants are going through, the emergency, the ICE crackdown. Y'all do know ICE is an American law enforcement, right? It worked for America, right? To keep America, immigration, CE, some bullshit, ICE. Y'all do know they target illegal immigrants. They feel like they're under the community, not the immigrant community, the illegal immigrant community. They failed to add that word in there. One little word that means so much. They conveniently manage to leave that word out when they say immigrants, the immigrant community. ICE is after immigrants. Trump is trying to get rid of immigrants. They conveniently leave out one very important word. How convenient that they leave out the word illegal. I work every day that I work with legal immigrants. They all over. I bought this truck from a guy named Luis. He from somewhere over there. Well, I never asked you where you from, Luis, but I know, Roberto and all of them. Some of the best people I ever known in my life. Luis, Roberto, Carlos Sanchez. Great people. Legal. They out here right now ain't thinking about ICE. Been here for years. I've been working with Roberto at this company here since 2008. And he was here before I got here. Roberto and Luis and all them boys ain't better eye about no ICE. They ain't hiding. Anybody seen Roberto and Luis? Nah, they hiding from ICE. No. They ain't thinking about ICE. ICE ain't thinking about them. Because they legal immigrants. Legal. L-E-G-L. Legal. Not illegal. I-L-L-E-G-L. Illegal. The ICE raids are for illegal, meaning you ain't supposed to be here in the first place. If you wasn't here, you wouldn't be going through this emergency. And here you got American citizens attacking law enforcement to protect criminals. Y'all should throw their ass under the jail. I'm talking Americans out there rioting against and fighting back against ICE. Now, I see ICE. I saw them not too long ago. I was like, I wasn't, hey, y'all get back, leave them alone, leave them alone. They trying to take care of their family. They ain't do none of that. Let them, they doing their job. What if our military, America was invaded, and they happen to be invaded by somebody you don't disagree with? What would y'all look like out there jumping in the way of our military trying to fight off the Russians or something as they invade, and you be like, they're just Russians, they're just innocent, they deserve a right to be here too. That's what y'all doing. What if it was the Russians, the Chinese, or whatever, they invading America? You have these liberals out here jumping in front of the American tanks in the military or whatever. They deserve a right to be here. This is America. Everybody deserves a right for freedom, and y'all crazy as hell. These people came here illegally. They can't go nowhere else and do that. Nowhere else. We can't do it. We can't go nowhere in the world without a passport and permission to go into these four countries. But it's okay for folks to just go to America. I don't need F they laws. Y'all crazy as hell. So, imagine, this the mind of a liberal. You live next door to a drug dealer. He pumping them things at the house. Traffic all day and night long. Loud music, and that's when you live next door to a drug dealer. You never live, this how it is. Traffic in and out all day long. Loud music, fighting, cussing, shooting. And then the cops kick the door in to arrest the drug dealer. And here you got some neighbors from over across the street come over and start fighting against the cops, telling the cop to leave the drug dealers alone. They just trying to feed their families. That's what y'all look like. These are illegal immigrants. There is no emergency. The emergency is they shouldn't be here. If America falls, if we crumble, which we are, we're here now, watch what happens. If America falls, the same thing that happened to me gonna happen to America. This is what happened to me. I was a baller shot caller at one time. Everybody was looking for Big Ward. My name been Big Ward since the 90s. I ain't just do it for YouTube. The streets gave me a name, Big Ward. Figure out why. So everybody wanted to hang out with Big Ward. All the neighborhood folk. When I go riding the street, folk flagging me down. Big Ward, what you finna get into? Let's hang out, man. Let's kick it. Let's chill. Let's blah, blah. Big Ward, you need anything? I'm finna go to the store. You need me to bring you something back. Knock on my door. Big Ward, I was just checking on you. Need anything? When I didn't need nothing, there were folk coming from everywhere to see if I needed anything. Do you think they were doing it out of the kind of their heart because they really loved me? When I didn't need nothing, when I was good, when I was way up, there was always somebody trying to check and see if I needed anything. But all when I fell off and needed something, couldn't find nobody that wanted to give me what I needed. When I fell off, they left. When I couldn't do nothing for them, they left. When America falls and can't do nothing for these people, they gonna leave. They gonna go back to their home. But the question is, for the Americans, when America falls, where are we going? They not gonna let us, in return, come in their country and use all their resources like they did ours. Once America falls, wherever we go, they're going to go back to their home country and then do what they should have been doing all along. Now we left, ain't got nowhere to go, because Americans ain't welcome nowhere. Everybody around the world hate Americans. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, they hate you. So when America falls, where are we going? Because they're going to leave us high and dry. Acting like they ain't never noticed. Same thing happened to me. Keep that in mind. As y'all out here fighting for illegal immigrants. Doing stuff to help them that you ain't been doing to help your own people. We got Americans right now struggling to pay their rent. That's an emergency. You talking about the immigrants are having an emergency. You don't think the American people are having an emergency right now? I'm having an emergency. I got stuff I don't know how I'm going to pay it. I'm having a financial emergency. There's millions of people around America, American citizens that is, that's having an emergency. That's in an emergency situation right now. That needs some emergency help. Americans. And we can't get it. But y'all telling us these illegal immigrants that are affected because law enforcement is coming to enforce the law against them, if that has affected them in a negative way. In other words, black folks. You know how long we've been going to jail in this son of a bitch? Have you seen any Democrats come along and say, hey, to that drug dealer, that robber, that whatever, I know your family was affected by you going to jail for breaking the law. We're going to help them. Do they help us when we go to jail for breaking the law? No. But they break the law, they get help. Is there any American right now that don't feel like they're in an emergency situation right now? I ain't talking about your rich motherfucker. I'm talking about the average American that's struggling right now. That watch me on a daily basis because you know what you're dealing with. Could you use some emergency help right now? Guess what? You're able to get none. Get it, got it, good. Bye.